Imagine a land where the desert stretches as far as the eye can see. Yet hidden within its golden sands lie ancient civilizations waiting to be discovered. A land where rugged mountains rise dramatically from the earth, whispering secrets of time and endurance. Where crystal-clear lakes and lush forests defy expectations in the heart of North Africa. This is Algeria, a country of contrasts, mystery, and breathtaking beauty. Join us as we journey across this extraordinary land, exploring forgotten ruins, vibrant cities, majestic deserts, and untouched wilderness. From the ancient rock art of Tassili to the thriving oases of the Sahara, from the sparkling Mediterranean coast to the serene mountains of Hoggar, every corner of Algeria tells a story. Prepare to be amazed, inspired, and utterly captivated as we uncover the wonders of Algeria, a land that has survived empires, time. Imagine standing at the edge of a city where time folds into itself, where the blue breath of the Mediterranean crashes against a city of dazzling white, and where every alleyway, every echo, every stone feels alive with centuries of memory. This is Algiers, the white pearl of the Mediterranean, a place that doesn't simply welcome you, it engulfs you in its history, its beauty, and its untouched mystery. From above, the city glows like a scattered constellation, its white buildings cascading down the hills, shimmering under the coastal sun. And as the camera drifts closer, the past and present merge into a single, vibrant heartbeat. Welcome to a place where Algeria begins its story. The journey starts in the Kasbah of Algiers, a labyrinth of winding alleys, ancient homes, and hidden courtyards that whisper legends of empires long gone. Walking through these narrow passages feels like stepping into a living museum, every turn unfolding stories of pirates, traders, scholars, and revolutionaries. The air carries the scent of spices and fresh bread, drifting through homes built centuries ago, their walls weathered yet unbroken. Children play on stone steps worn smooth by generations, while elders sit beneath carved wooden balconies, their eyes carrying memories older than the buildings themselves. In the Kasbah, history is not written, it breathes. Moving deeper, the Quechua Mosque rises, like a guardian of the old city. Its grand arches and intricate patterns reflect the artistic genius of the Ottoman era, blending seamlessly into the rugged beauty of the Kasbah. Standing here, you feel a sense of timelessness, as though the world beyond the mosque's courtyard moves in a different rhythm. Every tile, every column, every call to prayer echoes through the stone passageways, binding past and present with a quiet, powerful unity. As the city opens beyond the Kasbah, modern Algiers unfolds with breathtaking contrast. The Martyrs' Memorial pierces the sky, its towering concrete petals honoring the people who shaped the nation's independence. From its steps, the entire city stretches before you, an endless sea of white structures perched against the Mediterranean's shimmering blue. The sound of the waves blends with the hum of life rising from the streets, the laughter of families gathered by the waterfront, the bustling energy of cafes, and the rhythm of daily life moving with effortless confidence. Descending toward the waterfront, Algiers welcomes you with one of its most iconic views, Notre Dame d'Afrique. Perched on a high cliff, this basilica stands as a breathtaking symbol of unity, overlooking the city with grace and grandeur. Its golden dome glows in the sunlight, and inside, mosaics shimmer with colors that seem to shift with each step. The message inscribed above the altar, "Our Lady of Africa, pray for us," and the Muslims reveals a spirit of coexistence that has shaped this land for centuries. The moment you step out onto the cliffside terrace, the vast expanse of the Mediterranean stretches into eternity, every wave carrying stories from distant continents. Back in the city center, Algiers transforms once again. Streets lined with French colonial architecture blend with palm trees and bustling markets, creating a vibrant atmosphere filled with music, color, and aromas. Vendors call out their goods: fresh dates, handcrafted jewelry, fragrant spices, while cafes are alive with the clinking of glasses and lively conversations. There is a harmony here between elegance and energy, between the calm of the sea breeze and the movement of daily life. As the sun begins to set, the city turns golden, bathing the white buildings in warm light. From the heights of the city to the steps leading to the waterfront, Algiers glows like a jewel. The Mediterranean breeze becomes softer, the streets grow livelier, and the sounds of the day blend into a harmonious evening chorus. The white pearl doesn't simply shine, it lives. And in its shimmering reflection, you begin to understand why Algiers is not just a city but an experience, a gateway to a nation of wonders waiting to unfold. Have you ever seen a place so vast, so silent, and so breathtaking that it makes you question everything you thought you knew about nature? Imagine standing at the edge of an ocean, not of water, but of glowing golden sand stretching endlessly to the horizon. This is not a dream. This is the Sahara of Algeria, one of the most extraordinary landscapes on Earth. And in this chapter, we step directly into the heart of this cinematic desert world. Algeria holds the largest portion of the Sahara Desert, an unimaginable expanse covering more than 80% of the country. But this isn't just a desert. It's a living masterpiece, sculpted by time, wind, and history. As the sun rises, the sand dunes shift from soft peach to shimmering gold. As the sun sets, the sky explodes into a canvas of fiery orange and deep purple. Every moment feels as if the desert is painting scenes exclusively for your eyes. Our journey begins in Tassili, Niger, a protected plateau famous for its otherworldly rock forests. Towering sandstone pillars, sculpted by thousands of years of erosion, stretch across the barren land like the ruins of an ancient city crafted by giants. Walking through Tassili feels like entering another planet, silent, mysterious, ancient, and hidden within these formations lies one of the world's most valuable treasures, prehistoric art. Here, deep inside the rock shelters, you find more than 15,000 rock paintings and carvings, some dating back as far as 12,000 years. They reveal stories of a Sahara that once flourished with rivers, grasslands, elephants, and giraffes. A Sahara that was once green, a Sahara full of life. These drawings are not only stunning, they are a direct message from humanity's earliest ancestors, capturing the transformation of the world itself. The desert may look empty, but it carries the memories of civilizations lost to time. From the ancient plateau of Tassili, we move to one of Algeria's most iconic natural wonders, the Erg Chech. This vast field of shifting dunes is home to some of the largest sand waves on the planet. These dunes are not still, they move. They breathe. With every gust of wind, their curves reshape. Under the blazing daylight, they appear fierce and powerful. But at night, under thousands of stars, they turn quiet and soft, like frozen waves on a golden ocean. And then comes the unforgettable beauty of Erg Admer, where the sand rises into giant ridges that seem to stretch forever. Many travelers describe it as walking into a painting. The dunes form long, sinuous lines that look unreal, as if nature decided to create art on a grand scale. Here, even a simple footprint tells a story, because every step leaves a mark on an untouched world. As we travel deeper, the desert reveals one of its best-kept secrets, the oasis town of Janet. Nestled between dramatic mountains and golden dunes, Janet is a jewel of the Sahara. Palm trees sway gently, freshwater springs trickle between rocks, and life flourishes in the middle of an environment that seems impossible. The contrast is breathtaking: dry desert winds outside, fresh green paradise inside. For centuries, caravans stopped here to rest, trade, and share stories from distant lands. But the desert is not just sand and silence. It is also a powerful reminder of human endurance. For generations, the Tuareg people, often called the Blue Men of the Sahara, have lived here navigating the vast dunes with wisdom passed from parents to children. Their deep connection to the land, their traditions, and their resilience make them guardians of the desert's soul. In this vast, endless silence, you start to feel something remarkable. A calmness that only a place untouched by noise can give. A sense of time slowing down. A rare moment where you stand face to face with nature in its purest form. What if I told you there is a place in Algeria where time appears frozen, where ancient stones whisper the secrets of forgotten kingdoms, and where every street, every archway, every mosaic tells a story older than most cities on Earth? Welcome to Timgad, the Pompeii of Africa, a Roman masterpiece that has survived nearly 2,000 years. At first glance, Timgad looks like a perfect grid carved into the earth. A city planned with such precision that modern urban designers still admire it. But the real magic begins when you walk through the iconic Trajan Arch, the gateway into a world that once echoed with merchants' footsteps, soldiers' commands, and the laughter of families living centuries before us. The hook appears the moment you step inside. Timgad feels alive. Even in silence, the ruins speak. As you explore the wide, stone-paved streets, you begin to understand why this city is unlike any other Roman site in North Africa. Built in 100 AD by Emperor Trajan, Timgad was designed as a symbol of Roman power, discipline, and brilliance. But today, it has transformed into one of Algeria's most striking archaeological treasures. The heart of Timgad is the Forum, a vast open square that once served as the political and commercial center of the city. Imagine citizens gathering here to debate ideas, trade goods, or witness official announcements. The surviving columns stand tall and proud, like guardians of a civilization that refused to disappear. Nearby lies the Grand Theater, carved gracefully into a slope, with rows of stone seats fanning out toward the stage. Even now, if you stand in the center and speak, your voice carries flawlessly to the very top. It is a perfect example of Roman engineering. Beautiful, functional, and surprisingly modern. But Timgad is not only about monuments. It's about the life that once pulsed here. You can still see the remains of thermal baths, where citizens gathered to relax and socialize. You can walk through the ruins of elegant villas, complete with mosaic floors that display scenes of daily life, mythology, and art. Each piece of stone tells you that people here lived with comfort, creativity, and culture. And then, there is something truly astonishing. The Library of Timgad. Yes, an ancient library in the middle of the Algerian highlands. Once, it housed thousands of scrolls, knowledge gathered from across the Roman Empire. Its structure still stands, reminding us that long before modern cities, long before digital information, this place was a center of learning, a city that valued wisdom. But the beauty of Timgad doesn't end with its architecture. What makes it extraordinary is how perfectly it was preserved. For centuries, the city lay buried under the sands. The desert protected it, keeping its secrets safe. When archaeologists finally uncovered it, they found a Roman city so complete, so well planned, that it instantly became a window into the past. As you walk through the neatly arranged streets, at perfect right angles, you can almost visualize the Roman soldiers marching, the merchants running shops, the children playing near fountains. It feels like stepping through a doorway into another era. Surrounding the city are the rugged Hoggar Mountains, adding an epic backdrop to this ancient wonder. Their silent peaks give Timgad a dramatic, cinematic presence, reminding you that nature and history often blend together to create moments of pure awe. Yet, despite its magnificence, Timgad also carries a deeper lesson. It shows us that even the greatest cities can fall. Even the most powerful empires fade. But the stories they leave behind, those stories live forever. Today, travelers from around the world come to Timgad not only to admire Roman engineering, but to reconnect with the passage of time itself. Standing among these ruins, you realize how small we are compared to the civilizations that came before us, and yet how connected we all remain through history, culture, and human creativity. Timgad is more than stone walls and ancient streets. It is a reminder that long before our modern world, people dreamed, built, loved, learned, and lived full lives here, and their legacy still echoes through these majestic ruins. Imagine a place where the desert meets an oasis so beautiful. It feels like a doorway into another world, a place where golden dunes stretch endlessly. But in the middle of this vast silence lies a paradise of palm trees, freshwater springs, and ancient towns carved by human resilience. Welcome to the Mazab Valley, one of Algeria's most extraordinary wonders, an oasis civilization that has existed for more than 1,000 years. The moment you see it, one question fills your mind. How did people create such brilliance in such harsh conditions? This valley is not just a place. It is a masterpiece of survival, architecture, and community. The Mazab Valley is home to a cluster of fortified cities known as the Ksur, built by the Mozabite people in the 11th century. These cities, perched on rocky hills, look like giant fortresses rising from the desert floor. But their beauty is not in their size, it is in their design. Each sar is structured with astonishing precision. Houses are arranged in perfect harmony, simple, functional, and carefully aligned to stay cool during scorching summers. The narrow streets weave like protective corridors, guiding the desert wind through the city like a natural air conditioning system. Everything is designed with purpose. Everything reflects wisdom passed down through generations. At the center of every sar stands a mosque, its minaret rising like a watchtower over the desert. But the mosque is not just a place of worship. It is the heart of the community, the anchor around which life revolves. The architecture is minimal, yet striking. Smooth lines, geometric patterns, and sand-colored walls blend seamlessly with the landscape, creating an atmosphere of peace and timelessness. Then there's Ghardaïa, the most famous town in the valley. From a distance, Ghardaïa looks like a painting, terraced homes climbing upwards, crowned by the mosque's minaret. As you walk through its markets, you hear the echoes of ancient trade. Merchants selling carpets, silver jewelry, spices, and colorful fabrics. The rhythm of life here feels untouched by the passage of centuries. And yet, the true wonder of the Mazab Valley is the way it balances tradition with nature. Water, life's most precious resource, is carefully managed through an ancient irrigation system called the Foggaras. These underground channels distribute water from the springs to the palm groves, ensuring every drop is used wisely. This system has sustained the valley for hundreds of years, long before modern engineering existed. The palm groves themselves are like green oceans in the desert. Thousands of date palms stand tall, their shadows dancing across the sand as the sun moves through the sky. These groves are not only beautiful, they are essential for survival. They provide food, shade, wood, and a natural barrier against the harsh desert winds. Life in the Mazab Valley is a delicate balance, and the palm groves are the soul of it. But what makes this region unforgettable is the people who live here. The Mozabites are known for their strong sense of community, their hospitality, and their dedication to preserving their cultural identity. Their clothing, language, traditions, and daily routines reflect a way of life shaped by the desert, yet rich with spirituality and discipline. When the sun sets over the valley, a magical transformation takes place. The sky glows with shades of orange and rose, and the silhouette of the Sur appears like a dream floating above the desert. The air cools, the streets become quieter, and the call to prayer echoes beautifully through the valley. It is a moment that feels both ancient and eternal. Walking through the Mazab Valley, you realize this is not just a historical site, it is a living civilization, a place where simplicity becomes elegance, where tradition becomes strength, where survival becomes an art, and where every wall, every pathway, Every palm tree tells the story of a people who refused to let the desert defeat them. The Mazab Valley is a reminder that beauty is not always found in luxury or complexity. Sometimes, it is found in the harmony between humans and the environment, in the creativity born from necessity, in the quiet resilience of a community that has endured for a millennium. Picture a coastline where turquoise waves crash against rugged cliffs, where ancient trade routes once crossed the sparkling Mediterranean, and where modern life blends seamlessly with thousands of years of history. Now, imagine standing on a hilltop, overlooking this vast blue horizon, feeling the wind carry stories of empires long gone. This is Tipasa, one of the most mesmerizing coastal treasures of Algeria, an open-air museum carved by time, nature, and human genius. The moment you arrive, Tipasa pulls you into its world of mystery. It feels like walking into a forgotten chapter of history, where Roman ruins rest gently beside the sea, half buried in golden grass, half glowing under the sun. Here, the Mediterranean breeze whispers through the broken pillars and arches, as if trying to tell you what these stones once witnessed. Tipasa was once a Roman military colony, established nearly 2,000 years ago. But this was no ordinary outpost. It was a thriving port city, a center of trade, culture, and architecture. Ships from across the Mediterranean docked here, bringing spices, pottery, fabrics, and ideas. The smell of fresh fish mingled with incense, and merchants filled the streets with the noise of bargaining and laughter. Today, the city is silent, but its ruins remain full of life. As you walk through the archaeological site, the past unfolds before your eyes. The Great Basilica, with its massive columns, stands as a reminder of early Christian presence in North Africa. The basilica may be in ruins now, but its structure still feels sacred, echoing the footsteps of worshippers who walked these halls centuries ago. Nearby, you find the amphitheater, carved partly into the hillside. Imagine the roar of spectators, the dramatic performances, the music and storytelling that once filled this arena. Now, the only sound is the gentle rustle of the wind brushing against the grass, but the spirit of the place remains strong. One of Tipasa's most striking features is its necropolis, an ancient burial site stretching along the coast. Tombs carved into the cliffs overlook the sea, creating a hauntingly beautiful scene, one that reminds you of the people whose lives shaped this city. Their stories may be silent, but they are etched into every stone. But the true magic of Tipasa is its setting. Few ancient cities in the world sit in such a stunning natural landscape. Olive trees sway gently in the breeze. Wildflowers bloom between the ruins, and the sea sparkles with shades of blue that seem almost unreal. It is no wonder that the famous writer Albert Camus, who grew up in Algeria, fell in love with Tipasa. To him, it represented both freedom and memory, a place where nature and ruins coexist in perfect harmony. Walk a little further along the coastline, and you will find the Via dei Freschi, named after its beautiful Roman frescoes. Although time has faded them, you can still sense the artistic flair that once decorated the homes of the wealthy residents of Rations, Tipasa. Each mosaic, each broken piece of pottery, each carved stone tells you that this city was once filled with elegance and culture. And then, standing proudly in the distance, is the Mausoleum of Mauritania, also known as the Tomb of the Christian Woman. This giant circular structure sits atop a hill near Tipasa, still commanding awe and curiosity. Its origins remain partly mysterious, but it is believed to be the resting place of King Juba II and Queen Cleopatra Selene, daughter of the famous Cleopatra of Egypt. It is a reminder that Algeria was once connected to some of the greatest powers of the ancient world. As the sun begins to set over Tipasa, the colors of the sky transform the entire landscape. The sea turns deep gold, the ruins cast long shadows, and the air becomes cool and filled with the scent of the Mediterranean. You feel a connection not just to Algeria's history, but to the countless generations who lived, loved, dreamed, and died here. Tipasa is more than a historical site. It is an experience, a place where you can feel the weight of time, the beauty of nature, and the legacy of human civilization all at once. It reminds you that even as empires rise and fall, their stories live on, their foundations remain, their wisdom echoes through the centuries. In Tipasa, the past isn't distant, it rises beneath your feet. It glows in the sunlight, and it moves with the waves against the shore. And as you leave, you carry with you a piece of Algeria's soul, preserved in these timeless ruins by the sea. Imagine standing at the edge of a desert so vast, so silent, and so ancient that it feels like another planet. A place where the wind shapes mountains of sand, where the earth glows in shades of gold and red, and where time seems frozen in an eternal stillness. This is the Hoggar Mountains, one of Algeria's most breathtaking natural wonders, and a destination that feels like stepping into a dream carved by nature itself. The moment you arrive, the scene overwhelms you. Towering volcanic peaks rise straight out of the Sahara, their dark silhouettes cutting sharply against the blazing sky. These mountains are not soft or gentle. They are rugged, sharp, and dramatic. They look like the bones of the earth, exposed to the sun, shaped by millions of years of wind and fire. At the heart of this surreal landscape stands Mount Tahat, the highest peak in Algeria. Its presence is powerful, almost intimidating, yet undeniably beautiful. Reaching nearly 3,000 meters above sea level, it watches over the desert like a silent guardian. Travelers who come here often describe the feeling as humbling, as if the mountain is reminding them how small humans truly are in the face of nature's grandeur. But the Hoggar Mountains are not just about height, they are about mystery. The most iconic landscape here is the Attacor Plateau, famous for its strange and otherworldly rock formations. These volcanic pillars rise from the sand like ancient statues or natural skyscrapers. Some look like shattered towers, some like giant spears piercing the sky, and some like frozen waves from a sea that once existed millions of years ago. Every formation has a name, a legend, and a story that the locals pass down through generations. And speaking of locals, this region is home to the Tuareg people, often called the Blue Men of the Sahara because of the deep indigo dye of their clothing. Known for their hospitality, resilience, and deep connection to the desert, the Tuareg have lived here for centuries. Their culture is rooted in poetry, music, and nomadic traditions. They navigate the desert with an understanding that no map can teach, guided by stars, instinct, and memory. One of the most remarkable places in the Hoggar is the Sekram Plateau. To reach it, you travel through winding mountain paths, rocky valleys, and serene open spaces where the silence feels sacred. Sekram is famous for one of the world's most breathtaking sunrises. When dawn breaks, light spills over the peaks, painting the desert in gold, orange, and soft purple. Clouds float low, wrapping the mountains in a glowing mist. It is a moment that feels almost spiritual, timeless, peaceful, and overwhelming in its beauty. It was here that the French philosopher and monk Charles de Foucault lived in solitude during the early 20th century. His small stone hermitage still stands on the plateau, offering visitors a glimpse into a life devoted to reflection and faith. From this tiny structure, he spent his days studying Tuareg culture, writing dictionaries, and observing the silence of the desert. Today, the hermitage remains a symbol of spiritual calm, embraced by the vastness of the mountains. As you travel deeper into the Hoggar region, you begin to understand its incredible diversity. Despite the harsh environment, the area is home to unique wildlife. Desert foxes, gazelles, and rare bird species that survive against all odds. After rare rainfalls, the land briefly transforms. Tiny flowers bloom across the sand, turning the desert into a stunning tapestry of color. It is a reminder that even in the harshest landscapes, life finds a way. Nightfall in the Hoggar Mountains brings another kind of wonder. With no light pollution and clear skies, the stars appear with breathtaking clarity. The Milky Way stretches across the heavens like a river of light, and constellations shine brighter than anywhere else. For many travelers, this is the moment they remember forever. The quiet night, the cold desert air, and the infinite stars above. In the end, the Hoggar Mountains are more than just a geographical marvel. They are a symbol of Algeria's wild heart, a place where nature shows its pure power and beauty. Standing among these massive volcanic peaks, you feel the age of the world. You feel the weight of time, and you feel connected to something larger, older, and more mysterious than anything you've ever known. The Hoggar Mountains are not just a destination. They are an experience you carry with you long after you leave. A reminder that the earth still holds places untouched by modern life. Places where silence speaks. Places where the soul can breathe. Imagine walking into a lost world, an endless desert, filled with towering dunes, ancient rock carvings, surreal landscapes, and silent valleys, untouched for thousands of years. A place so visually stunning that it feels like nature painted it by hand, using the desert as its canvas. Welcome to Tassili, Niger, one of the most extraordinary natural and cultural treasures on the planet. And, without question, one of Algeria's greatest wonders. The moment you step into Tassili, Niger, you realize this is not just a desert. It is an open-air museum, a geological marvel, and a window into humanity's distant past. The land here tells stories written not in books, but in stone, sand, and ancient drawings that have survived the rise and fall of civilizations. Tassili, Niger is most famous for its prehistoric rock art, some of the oldest and most detailed in the world. Spread across thousands of caves and rock shelters, these carvings and paintings date back more than 10,000 years. They show a Sahara that was once alive with rivers, forests, animals, and human life. In these drawings, you see cattle grazing, people dancing, hunters carrying spears, and animals like giraffes, elephants, and even crocodiles, creatures that no longer exist in this desert. When you look at them, you suddenly understand. This silent desert was once a thriving world full of water, vegetation, and life. Every figure on the rock, every brushstroke made with natural pigments, is a voice from the ancient past calling out across time. But the wonders of Tassili, Niger don't end with the artwork. The landscape itself feels like something from another planet. Layers of sandstone shaped by millions of years of wind erosion have created surreal rock formations, arches, pillars, domes, and gigantic stone forests that stretch to the horizon. Some look like animals, some like castles, and some like massive sculptures crafted by an unseen artist. It is no surprise that astronauts and scientists often compare Tassili to the surface of Mars. One of the most iconic formations is the stone forest, where narrow passageways twist between tall rock walls, creating a labyrinth of natural corridors. Walking through them feels like traveling through time, each layer of rock revealing the history of the earth itself. The quiet here is so absolute that you can hear your own heartbeat. The desert air is dry, cool, and still, creating a sense of peace that is hard to describe. As you explore deeper, you find hidden plateaus that rise high above the desert floor. From these viewpoints, the landscape stretches endlessly, waves of rock and sand merging into a distant horizon. The sky feels bigger, the air feels clearer, and the world feels both ancient and eternal. Standing there, you understand why this place is considered one of the most spiritual landscapes in North Africa. The region is also home to unique wildlife, including desert foxes, rare reptiles, and birds that migrate across the Sahara. After occasional rains, small plants bloom briefly between the rocks, adding touches of green and purple to the desert's warm palette. This delicate burst of life contrasts beautifully with the raw, rugged terrain surrounding it. Tassili Najer is not an easy place to reach. The journey is long, the paths are rough, and the conditions can be extreme. But that is precisely what makes it so special. Very few places on Earth remain as untouched, as pure, and as historically rich as this one. Every step you take feels like discovering a secret the world has forgotten. The local Tuareg guides who know this land speak of it with pride and reverence. To them, Tassili is not just a landscape, it is a sacred heritage. They know the routes, the hidden springs, the safe passes, and the stories behind the symbols painted on the rocks. They are the protectors of this vast, fragile masterpiece. And when night falls, Tassili Najer becomes even more magical. The sky explodes with stars bright, sharp, and endless. The Milky Way stretches overhead like a glowing river, untouched by city lights and modern noise. The cool desert breeze carries the scent of ancient stone, and the world around you falls into a peaceful silence. It is a moment that feels eternal, a moment where past and present blur together. Tassili Najer is more than a destination. It is a journey into Earth's memory, a place that preserves not just landscapes, but the story of humanity, written in stone by hands that lived thousands of years before us. What if I told you that beneath the sands of Algeria lies a region so vast, so hauntingly beautiful, and so full of natural wonders that it feels like the desert itself is alive? A place where red dunes rise like waves on a fiery ocean, where ancient caravan routes still echo with forgotten footsteps, and where silence becomes a language spoken by the wind. Welcome to Tamanrasset, the beating heart of the Algerian Sahara and one of the most captivating regions in North Africa. From the moment you set foot in Tamanrasset, you feel a change. The air is different here, dry, warm, and filled with the scent of sand carried across endless horizons. The land stretches beyond imagination, a canvas painted with shades of gold, copper, and deep orange. Each sunrise transforms the desert into a glowing sea, and each sunset turns it into a living fire. But what makes Tamanrasset truly unforgettable is not just its beauty, it is the way it blends nature, culture, and history into one extraordinary experience. Tamanrasset is the home of the Tuareg, legendary nomads known as the Blue People of the Sahara, because of the indigo dye in their robes that rubs gently onto their skin. These are people of courage, wisdom, and deep tradition. They navigate the desert with a sense of belonging that comes from generations of living in harmony with one of the harshest environments on Earth. When a Tuareg guide leads you across the dunes, you feel like you're traveling with someone who carries the desert in their soul. The city of Tamanrasset itself is a vibrant desert hub markets filled with colorful fabrics, silver jewelry, leather crafts, and spices from across Africa. Camels wander the outskirts, palm trees sway gently in the hot wind, and the sounds of traditional instruments echo during evening gatherings. It is a place where ancient culture thrives alongside modern life, creating a unique atmosphere that you won't find anywhere else. But Tamanrasset is also the gateway to some of Algeria's most dramatic landscapes. Just beyond the city lies the road to the Hoggar Mountains, one of the most awe-inspiring regions in the entire Sahara. The dark volcanic peaks rise suddenly from the sand, creating a striking contrast between the desert's warm hues and the mountain's deep, ancient tones. This is a land shaped by fire and wind, wild, raw, and majestic. And at the heart of this region lies the legendary Sekrim Plateau, famed for having one of the most breathtaking sunrises on Earth. Reaching Sekrim is a journey of adventure, winding paths, rocky passes, and endless views of untouched desert. When you finally reach the top, the world below opens up like a grand, endless landscape painted by time. As dawn approaches, the sky slowly transforms, first purple, then orange, then gold. Light spills over the mountains, casting long shadows across the desert floor. The peaks glow like embers in the morning sun, creating a scene so powerful that Many travelers describe it as spiritual. It was in this remote sanctuary that Charles de Foucauld, a French explorer and later a hermit monk, lived in solitude during the early 1900s. His stone hermitage still stands on the plateau, preserved as a memorial to his life of reflection among the Tuareg people. Today, visitors can explore this simple structure and glimpse the serenity he found here, a serenity that still flows through the silent desert winds. But Tamanrasset is not only mountains and sunsets. It is a place of hidden valleys, ancient roots, and cultural treasures. Caravan trails once crossed these sands, linking North Africa to the deep Sahel. Traders carried salt, gold, spices, and stories that shaped the identity of the Sahara. Today, you can still trace parts of those ancient paths, walking in the footsteps of explorers and nomads who traveled these routes for centuries. The region is also home to the Oued Ane, a remote desert valley filled with prehistoric rock art similar to that of Tassili, Niger. These carvings reveal scenes of early life, hunters, cattle, symbols, and animals that once roamed this region when it was green and full of water. Each drawing is a reminder that the Sahara has not always been a desert. It has changed over millennia, carrying with it the memory of a world long forgotten. Night in Tamanrasset is a wonder of its own. With no city lights to dim the heavens, the stars blaze with extraordinary clarity. The Milky Way stretches across the sky in shimmering detail, and constellations shine brighter than anywhere else. Sitting by a desert campfire, listening to Tuareg music under an ocean of stars, you feel connected to the land in a way that transcends time. Tamanrasset is not just a destination, it is a revelation. It shows you that the desert is not empty, but full of life, culture, and history. It teaches you that silence can be beautiful, that simplicity can be powerful, and that some wonders can only be found where the world seems most remote. What if I told you that hidden far from Algeria's major cities lies one of the most extraordinary natural sanctuaries in North Africa? A place where cold mountain streams cut through sunlit valleys, where cedar forests perfume the air, and where rare animals still roam in peaceful silence. A place that feels like Algeria's secret garden. Welcome to El Kala National Park, one of the country's most breathtaking and diverse ecological treasures. From the moment you enter El Kala, everything changes. The heat of the lowlands softens, the colors shift from dusty browns to lush greens, and the air becomes cool and crisp. Birds fill the sky with their songs, lakes shimmer under the sunlight, and towering trees sway gently in the breeze. It is hard to believe that such a rich, vibrant environment exists in a country known for its vast deserts. But that is the beauty of Algeria. It is a land of extremes, and El Kala is its green crown. This national park stretches across mountains, wetlands, lakes, and forests, creating a haven for wildlife unlike any other in the region. It is home to more than 40 mammal species, 200 species of birds, and countless plants that thrive in the cooler climate of northeastern Algeria. Some of the species found here exist nowhere else on Earth, and the park's wetlands are so important that they have been recognized as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. Your journey into El Kala begins with its shimmering lakes, each one unique, each one alive with movement, color. Among them, the most famous is Lake Tonga, a vast wetland surrounded by reeds, marsh grasses, and water lilies. Migratory birds from Europe and Africa flock here every year, turning the lake into a living tapestry of feathers and calls. Flamingos wade gracefully through the shallows, their reflections glowing pink in the afternoon sun. Rare species like the white-headed duck glide across the water's surface, creating ripples that seem to disappear into the mist. Nearby lies Lake Ubera, a peaceful sanctuary tucked between rolling hills and dense forests. When the wind moves across the water, it creates a soft, shimmering motion that looks almost unreal, like a silver mirror trembling in the sunlight. Fishermen glide quietly across the lake in small boats, moving with the rhythm of a tradition that has lasted generations. The silence of the place is soothing, broken only by the soft splash of oars and the distant echo of birds calling to one another. But the wonders of Alcala extend beyond its lakes. The park's forests are among the richest in Algeria, filled with cork oak, Aleppo pine, and the legendary Barbary cedar, a tree that has stood witness to centuries of history. Walking through these forests feels like stepping into a forgotten world. Rays of sunlight filter through the branches, butterflies drift lazily through the air, and the sound of the wind whispers through the leaves like a gentle lullaby. And in these forests live some of Algeria's most iconic animals. The Barbary deer, also known as the Atlas deer, is one of the most special. With its reddish-brown coat and elegant antlers, it moves silently through the trees, blending perfectly with the forest shadows. Seeing one in the wild is rare, but unforgettable. It feels like witnessing a creature from an ancient age, preserved through time. Alcala is also home to foxes, wild boars, jungle cats, and even the elusive golden jackal. But perhaps the park's most magical residents are the migratory birds. Each year, thousands of them travel thousands of kilometers to rest in this sanctuary. From pelicans and herons to eagles and storks, the skies of Alcala are alive with movement and color. As you travel deeper into the park, you discover the Hoggar Mountains, rising gently above the lakes and forests. These mountains offer breathtaking panoramic views, rolling valleys, blue lakes shining in the distance, and endless stretches of green merging seamlessly with the horizon. From these cliffs, the beauty of Alcala unfolds like a painting, reminding you just how diverse and dramatic Algeria's landscapes truly are. But Alcala is not just about nature, it is about connection. Families gather near the lakes for picnics. Fishermen cast their nets in the early morning light, and local villagers share stories about the land they've protected for generations. Life here is simple, peaceful, and deeply linked to the rhythms of the earth. When evening falls, the park transforms once again. The golden sunlight fades into deep orange. The lakes reflect the colors of the sky, and the forests grow silent. As the stars begin to appear, the night creatures awaken the rustle of small animals in the underbrush, the soft hoot of an owl, the gentle chorus of nighttime insects. The air becomes cool, almost sweet, carrying the calming scent of cedar and wildflowers. Alcala National Park is more than a natural reserve. It is a reminder of the beauty and fragility of our world, a place that shows the richness of Algeria beyond its deserts and mountains, a place where nature thrives in harmony, where time slows down, and where every moment feels like a breath of fresh life. As our journey across Algeria draws to a close, take a moment to step back and look at the land in its entirety. From the bustling streets of Algiers to the golden dunes of the Sahara, from the ancient Roman ruins of Timgad to the mystical rock art of Tassili, Niger, from lush forests and lakes in Alcala to the soaring peaks of the Hoggar Mountains, Algeria is a country of contrasts, extremes, and unimaginable beauty. It is a place where history, culture, and nature intertwine so seamlessly that every landscape, every city, every desert tells a story. Algeria is not just a country to be visited, it is a country to be felt. It invites you to explore, to wander, and to immerse yourself in its myriad wonders. Each region holds a unique charm, a distinct rhythm of life. The north is alive with Mediterranean energy, whitewashed buildings, bustling markets, and the sparkling coastline. Here, history is visible in every stone, every archway, every ruin that has survived the march of time. Cities like Algiers, Tipasa, and Constantine show the elegance and resilience of a civilization shaped by centuries of empires, traders, and explorers. Move south, and the scenery transforms. The Sahara dominates the horizon, vast golden and eternal. The desert is both unforgiving and mesmerizing, a land that challenges all who enter, yet rewards those who observe its secrets. Dunes ripple endlessly under the sun. Oases offer life and respite, and plateaus like a sacrum reveal sunrises that feel almost divine. This is a land where silence speaks louder than words, where solitude brings clarity, and where the spirit of the Tuareg people adds depth, culture, and meaning to the vast wilderness. Algeria's mountains, too, command awe and respect. The Hoggar peaks rise dramatically above the desert, dark volcanic silhouettes against brilliant skies. Valleys hidden among these peaks hold life, history, and sacred spaces. It is in these mountains that humanity and nature meet in perfect harmony. Hermitages, small villages, and nomadic routes are all integrated into the rugged beauty of the land. Here, one cannot help but feel small, humbled, and connected all at once. And yet, Algeria's beauty is not just about extremes. The green sanctuaries of the northeast, places like El Kala National Park, remind us that life thrives in harmony. Forests, lakes, and wetlands teem with creatures both rare and familiar, while human life blends respectfully into the landscape. It is a testament to balance, resilience, and care. Algeria's diversity of ecosystems, from desert to coast, from mountains to wetlands, shows that nature in its most raw and delicate form can exist alongside human culture. But perhaps the greatest wonder of Algeria is its people. Across cities, deserts, and valleys, you encounter warmth, hospitality, and pride in heritage. From the elders sharing stories in the Kasbah, to the Tuareg guiding travelers through endless dunes, to families celebrating life along the Mediterranean coast. The people are the heartbeat of this land. They carry history in their eyes, resilience in their hands, and hope in their spirit. Algeria is alive not just in landscapes, but in its culture, traditions, and everyday moments that speak louder than any monument. Algeria also teaches a profound lesson about time. In one moment, you can be walking among ruins that are 2,000 years old. In another, you can witness a sunrise over the Sahara as it has appeared for millennia. You see that life is fleeting, civilizations rise and fall, yet the land remains a canvas for stories that continue to unfold. It is a reminder that while humans pass through history, nature endures, adapts, and inspires awe across generations. As the sun sets on this journey, imagine the Algerian landscape bathed in golden light. Cities glow softly, mountains cast long shadows, dunes ripple like waves frozen in time, and the Mediterranean sparkles like scattered diamonds. The air carries the scents of desert flowers, salty seas, and ancient stone. Silence and life coexist, past and present merge, and you feel a sense of completion, a sense of wonder, and a sense of belonging. Algeria is more than a country. It is a mosaic of stories, a symphony of landscapes, and a living testament to the power of nature, culture, and history. From its whitewashed capitals to its golden deserts, from its rugged peaks to its serene wetlands, Algeria invites the traveler, the dreamer, and the explorer to witness its endless beauty and timeless spirit. This is Algeria, a land of contrast, a land of wonder, a land that lives in your memory long after you leave. Every step across this country, every moment spent among its deserts, ruins, mountains, and forests, teaches a lesson that the world is vast, extraordinary, and full of stories waiting to be discovered. And Algeria, in all its majesty, is one of the greatest stories of them all. As night descends over Algeria, the landscape transforms yet again. The deserts cool to a gentle warmth, and the sands take on a silvery hue under the moonlight. In the Hoggar Mountains, shadows stretch long and mysterious, while in the oasis towns, palm trees rustle softly with the desert breeze. The stars above sparkle like diamonds scattered across black velvet, reminding you that Algeria is not just a land of sights, it is a land of experiences that touch the soul. One of the most remarkable aspects of Algeria is how seamlessly it blends history and nature. Ancient ruins sit beside living cities, mountain peaks overlook desert expanses, and verdant wetlands exist just a few hours from arid plains. Each element of the landscape tells a story. The Roman columns of Tipasa whisper tales of imperial ambition and cultural exchange. The rock carvings of Tassili reveal humanity's earliest artistic expression. The shifting dunes of the Sahara speak of endurance, resilience, and the passage of time. And in every village, in every kasbah, the culture is rich and deeply connected to the earth. It is here that Algeria shows its resilience and depth, reminding us that beauty often lies in balance between human ingenuity and natural force, between history and the present, between challenge and tranquility. Yet, what makes Algeria truly unforgettable is its capacity to surprise. One moment, you are walking through the bustling streets of Algiers. The next, you are crossing the endless golden dunes of the Sahara. One moment, you are gazing at prehistoric art in deep desert caves. The next, you are wandering through lush cedar forests alive with wildlife. Each experience is a reminder that Algeria is not one place, but many worlds stitched together, a mosaic of landscapes, cultures, and histories that cannot be contained in a single description. As your journey comes to its final moments, you begin to realize that Algeria is more than a travel destination. It is a story that continues to unfold, a living museum where the past and present coexist, and where nature, culture, and history meet in perfect harmony. The land, the people, and the wilderness teach patience, awe, and respect. They remind us that even in the harshest deserts, life thrives. Even in the oldest ruins, stories endure. And even across the vastest landscapes, beauty persists. Standing on a hilltop at sunset, watching the desert glow, the mountains shadow the valleys, and the distant coastline shimmer under fading light, you understand the essence of Algeria. It is a country of extremes, harsh and gentle, ancient and modern, quiet and vibrant. But through all its contrasts, it radiates a singular truth. Algeria is a land of wonder. Every step across its deserts, every glance over its mountains, every heartbeat in its cities resonates with the richness of human history and the majesty of nature. And as you take a final look over the sweeping vistas, the golden dunes, the rugged mountains, the sparkling seas, you feel the enduring spirit of Algeria, a spirit that calls travelers to explore, to witness, and to remember. A spirit that proves that true wonder is not just found in isolated landmarks, but in the vast, interconnected story of a land that is as alive today as it was thousands of years ago. Algeria reveals its ultimate secret, its ability to leave a lasting impression on every traveler. It is not merely the sum of its deserts, mountains, ruins, or forests. It is the spirit that flows through every landscape, every town, and every soul that calls this land home. From the whitewashed streets of Algiers, winding through its historic Kasbah, to the remote and mystical Tassili, Algeria is a mosaic of wonders, each unique, yet deeply connected. Consider the Saharan oases, hidden pockets of life amid the vast golden sea of dunes. Here, date palms sway gently in the wind. Spring waters glisten under the relentless sun, and communities flourish where survival once seemed impossible. Walking through these oases, you witness human resilience and ingenuity, how generations adapted to harsh landscapes while maintaining harmony with nature. Every pathway, every mud brick house, every market stall tells a story of survival, creativity, and community that has endured for centuries. And then there is the rock art of Tassili, which continues to inspire awe. These ancient carvings and paintings depict a Sahara that was once green, thriving with rivers, forests, and wildlife. Elephants, giraffes, and humans dance across the rock surfaces, reminding us that the Sahara was not always the barren expanse we see today. Each line and brushstroke is a direct link to our ancestors, a testament to creativity, observation, and the deep human need to leave a mark upon the world. Algeria's mountains offer another layer of wonder. The Hoggar Mountains rise dramatically from the desert floor, volcanic peaks cutting a striking silhouette against the sky. Here, time slows. The sun rising over the Oran Plateau ignites the rocky landscape in shades of gold and amber, casting long shadows across the desert below. Standing in this remote wilderness, you feel connected to both the earth and the universe itself. The desert humbling, the mountains inspiring, the sky infinite. This is a place where contemplation feels natural, where every step invites reflection. Moving north, the Mediterranean coast introduces a completely different rhythm. Here, the sparkling waters meet cities steeped in history. Tipasa, with its Roman ruins overlooking the sea, transports you to an era of empires and trade, while the beaches and cliffs radiate natural beauty. The sound of waves hitting the shore, the salty breeze, and the golden sunsets create a sense of peace and continuity, reminding us that life, like the sea, moves forward, yet carries the memory of all it has touched. And let us not forget El Kala National Park, a verdant sanctuary in northeastern Algeria. Its lakes shimmer, wetlands thrive, and forests teem with wildlife. Flamingos, deer, and rare birds make this region their home, creating a vivid contrast to the desert landscapes farther south. Here, Algeria reminds us that diversity is its strength, and beauty can exist in every climate, from arid sands to lush greenery. But perhaps the greatest wonder is the people of Algeria. From the Tuareg nomads navigating the Sahara with centuries of wisdom, to the artisans in the Kabylie Mountains crafting intricate jewelry, from families celebrating life along the coast, to elders sharing stories in Algiers' ancient neighborhoods, every person adds to the richness of this land. They are the living thread connecting past and present, nature and civilization, tradition and innovation. As you reflect on Algeria, you realize that it is a land of contrasts, yet each contrast harmonizes perfectly. The deserts teach resilience, the mountains teach perspective, the coast teaches serenity, and the forests teach patience. Every region, every landscape, every story contributes to an overarching narrative. Algeria is a land that challenges, inspires, and captivates all at once. Its beauty is not only in its vistas, but in its ability to evoke emotion, wonder, humility, curiosity, and awe. As the sun sets one last time over this incredible country, casting the Sahara in gold, the mountains in deep violet, and the Mediterranean in liquid sapphire, you understand something profound. Algeria is not a place to be merely seen. It is a place to be experienced, to be felt, to be remembered. It leaves an imprint on your soul, a whisper in your mind, and a longing to return. Algeria is a living testament to the resilience of nature, the endurance of humanity, and the timeless beauty of our planet. It reminds us that the world is vast, extraordinary, and full of stories waiting to be discovered. And in this land of endless deserts, towering mountains, ancient ruins, and lush greenery, you realize that some journeys do not end. They simply live within you forever. As our journey through Algeria comes to an end, one truth becomes clear. This is a land that leaves a mark on the soul. From the golden dunes of the Sahara to the ancient Roman ruins of Tipasa, from the mystical rock art of Tassili to the lush forests of El Kala, Algeria is more than a destination, it is an experience. It is a land of extremes and harmony, of silence and life, of history and enduring culture. Here, Every mountain, every oasis, every ancient stone tells a story of resilience, creativity, and wonder. Algeria reminds us that beauty is not only in what we see, it is in what we feel. So take this journey with you. Remember the deserts that whispered, the mountains that inspired, and the people who carry the heart of this remarkable land. Algeria is not just a country, it is a world of stories, waiting to be discovered, cherished, and remembered forever. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed exploring Prague as much as I enjoyed guiding you through it. If you found this travel guide helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more beautiful destinations from around the world. Got a favorite spot in Prague? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, safe travels and see you in the next video.